And welcome back to the Hot Lap. And we're asking, what is all this mess going on with Andretti? This is, well, the spark has been lit again by an entry by the FIA president, who supported them at one point, accepted their entry at one point. We thought that eventually, with the help of the FIA, their entry may have a chance of going through. But now the FIA president told Andretti, go and buy another team in what is quite a surprise U-turn by Mohammed Ben Salim. As we know, he's been at the forefront for the call to expand the F1 field. More teams means more drivers, more cars, arguably more people watching Formula One. And these been launching the expressions of interest process, which was in 2023, asking for proposed entries to add new teams for the sport. But, yeah, he turned. In the shape of a U. He believes the grid is now not about the number, but the quality. Yeah, we'll get into the quality in a bit. So, Andretti, as we know, they've partnered with General Motors, who clearly aren't quality according to Formula One, the General Motors brand Cadillac, to produce an entry that passed the FIA's benchmarks to make it onto the Formula One grid, so to speak. But the entry was rejected in January after talks advanced to Formula One management. Several team principals have voiced their opposition to expanding the grid, with Red Bull team principal Christian Horner commenting over the most recent weekend in Monaco that the natural solution would be for Andretti to join F1 to buy an existing team, because it's all about the money, and that's where they don't want an 11th team, do they? So now here's the kicker: the existing Concord agreement between the teams that was signed by the teams, meaning agreed by the teams, legally binding by the teams. Need I go on? The FIA, so signed by the teams, by the way, the FIA and FOM allows for up to not 10, not 11, but 12 teams on the grid, with new teams required to pay £200 million in entry fee to join. Though, with talks ongoing over the next Concord agreement, reports suggest that a fee could end up being trebling after a hugely successful period in Formula One. So for the FIA president, while he had been supporting expanding the grid, saying at the announcement of the expressions of interest process that conditions are right, and I think right they are for such a moment, he now explained his reasons for Andretti Cadillac to buy an existing team with others on the grid struggling. He said, I've no doubt FOM and Liberty would love to see other teams, as long as they, original OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, he said, I would advise them, Ben went on to say, as in Andretti, to go and buy another team, not to come as an 11th team. I feel that some teams need to be refreshed. What is better, to have 11 teams as a number 10 or 10 and they are strong? I still believe we should have more teams, but not any teams, the right teams. So he said it's not about the number, but the quality. Without mentioning names, there are teams which are struggling with performance, struggling even with management. It's about having, yes, there are some teams, and in terms of struggling with management, Ben, that may well be one of the top teams, but there we go. It's about having the right team, not to lose a chance or an opportunity where something like a GM with a PU is coming into Formula One. Imagine the impact. We have 3 races in America. We have such a huge fan base. An American team would be a good idea, wouldn't it? But they say, but we don't have a proper US team. I'm so happy to have Ford. Well, is that a kick for General Motors in the teeth from 2026? But then he says, but imagine having GM, General Motors, and imagine having American drivers. Despite their F1 entry being formally rejected, Andretti have continued to press on. And I think it's really good. They've opened their Silverstone based squad as well. So, I mean, the issue I've got with Mohammed Ben Salim's initial, saying he wants quality over quantity. But let's be fair, a lot of you've got a team that's got more sponsors than there's carrots in sick, if I'm honest. And that's, as their main title sponsors. And that's Visa, Cash App, RB. Visa, Cash App, I thought Visa, Cash App, RB, Visa and Cash App were the same, but no, they're 2 different things. It just makes them look like a complete joke. The car looks great though. You've got a gambling name for an F1 stake, which then couldn't be called stake in some countries because we don't, gambling is, let's be fair, slightly controversial. I mean, not as controversial as tobacco, but still. And yeah, stake F1 team. They've got to be called Sauber. Then you've got your Williams team, your Williams F1 team that can't even make it on the grid in Australia because they don't have enough spare parts. Quality over quantity. Mohammed bin Sulayem and Liberty Media. Quality over quantity. What are you talking about? Now, we go on. Yes, there is more. You may have read this a few days ago. I think this is from the 23rd of May. Mario Andretti said the bullet through the heart comment gate. So this 1978 world champion Andretti claims Liberty Media CEO Greg Maffei, Maffei, he made a declaration against the entry of the Andretti F1 team over the course of the Miami Grand Prix weekend. And as we know, the Andretti F1 team is helmed by Mario's son, Michael, attempting to win over Formula 1 management in a bid to secure that entry for F1 2026. Now, Mario was on the ground for the Miami Grand Prix, where he claims an incident occurred with the Liberty Media boss. Speaking to NBC News, he described the meeting he had with the commercial rights holder, and he says that the boss said something he couldn't believe. Let me see what he said. I know it wasn't particularly right. Good. He said he was asked to go there, and just as I was trying to explain that to Stefano, Greg Maffei broke in the conversation and he said, Mario, I want to tell you that I will do everything in my power to see that Michael never enters Formula One. Andretti explained that he then walked away and hasn't been in contact, and he said, I couldn't believe that. That one really floored me. We're talking about business. I didn't know it was something so personal. That was really, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. It was just like a bullet through my heart. And I completely agree. I mean, what? As a boss, why would you say something like that? Why? I mean, many people are saying, is it the truth? I imagine, if he denies doing it, why would Mario, with so much on the line, his son's dream, their dream of entering Formula One, why would he lie about something like that? Now you've got Congress involved. Andretti's pushing ahead as with its plans, and Congress is being involved in relation to potential antitrust laws. Yeah, these are things that Microsoft and game companies and software companies, used to be against. And so it has left the door open for 2028, but that's after this new Concord Agreement is in place, which, as I said, allows 12 Formula One teams. I mean, it's an absolute joke at the moment. And yeah, some of their reasons, let's get into some of their reasons why. As we know, on March, the FIA published their invitation, and these are some of the reasons that the FIA are not letting Andretti in. I know we've done another video, but I think we need an update on this. Consideration of the likely competitiveness of the applicant's entry and its impact on value. That's what they need. Consideration of the arrangements with respect to the power units and impact that the arrangements will have. I mean, these are all the things that they considered. And let's see what they think. Okay, so it goes, our assessment process is established that the presence of 11th team would not, in of itself, provide value to the championship, despite the fact that it's giving 2 more drivers, 2 more teams, more cars to watch. And let's be fair, I think we've already proven the point that an Andretti in Formula One, I don't think it's going to be the slowest car of all. When other people are really struggling. I mean, look how much Haas has struggled. They've done, to be fair, they've done really well this year. A few years ago, you had Williams and Haas really pretty much right at the bottom of the grid. Scraping it, guaranteed to qualify last. They said any 11th team should show its participation and involvement that would bring benefit to the championship. They don't think it will. What a joke! Let's see what else. The 2025 last of the current regulation. Yeah, I mean, they believe it's the last of the current. The only point I think they had, the Liberty Media Formula One, in their big statement of why Andretti can't get in, was they said that the rules getting into 2025, which was Andretti's initial plan, would be difficult because then they have to design a new car for the new rules in 2026. Fair enough. That's the one point I may have agreed with. Coming to the sport as a new power unit manufacturer, is a huge challenge, and they've suggested that GM have the resource and credibility to more than care, but success is not assured. No, but then why are you letting Ford in? But to overtake Red Bull powertrains, which will be brand new. I mean, yes, they are joining, I guess, with Red Bull, but at some point you had to, Honda are there. You've let other people, and Honda were quite, let's be fair, they were embarrassing when they were with McLaren, and to be fair, McLaren were a bit embarrassing at the time as well. The most significant way in which a new entrant will be valued is by being competitive. Yeah, but that's point number 14 they've made. The link in the description below on the Autosport article. Once again, I take you to the fact that Williams this year could not have 2 cars in a race because they didn't have enough spare parts. And they said the need for any new team to take a compulsory power unit over such a period of several seasons would be damaging. Why would it be damaging? Because you've gone in, I mean, if you remember, at one point, Red Bull did not have a power unit. Renault were like, bye, you treated us like dirt, see you later. And it was just pure luck, pure chance, that McLaren ended their relationship with Honda. Otherwise, goodness knows what would have happened to Red Bull. So yes, teams can extend to that. If you remember, in 2009, there was no brawl. Mercedes pulled out a hand. There were rumours that they'd signed a deal. They would potentially sign a deal with Renault, and let's be fair, / Alpine. But to get Renault power units was Andretti. And to be fair, Renault need a bit of an ally, don't they? Even for development, that would be good. And it says the addition of a lemon team would place an operational burden on race promoters in a championship where you can have up to 12 people. Why would it? The garages are there nearly all the races. You've just got to open them. Not going to be that much. The infrastructure there should be there for many people. And Formula One is not. It kind of like makes out that Formula One is the only racing series to go to other racetracks. No, it's not. Places like Silverstone, and you've got like 30 car grids. 30 cars sometimes, plus more for certain channels. The infrastructure, I'm pretty sure, is good enough. What's their next point? We're not able to identify any material expected positive effect on the GRH financial results as a key indicator of pure. Well, you can't do that anyway. I mean, James Vowles even came out, didn't he? I love James Vowles. Don't get me wrong. I do like him, and I know he's not supportive of an 11th Formula One team, but he came out and he's even said that Williams are making a loss at the moment. So and they may not be the only one. They're hopefully making a profit now because of the cost cap. But they were initially, he said, made a loss. So don't just utter BS on the basis of the application as it stands. We do not believe the applicant shows it would add value to the challenge. We conclude that Andretti's application to participate should not be successful. I mean, all of it is absolutely subjective, and that's the absolute hypocrisy. The infrastructure is there. You already have teams that you can make an argument. I love every Formula One team, but you can make an argument they do not have quality over quantity. Yes, in terms of the fact that you've got teams like Sauber that can't do a proper pit stop, with a 20-second pit stop. Embarrassing, and it's not like these are a new set of rules. Williams again, with the spare car, you've got Red Bull. Yes, they are, quality on track. Definitely not quality off it when you look at their senior management team. And the way this whole WhatsApp gate, Christian Horner gate, infighting has been handled. It's absolutely embarrassing. And they're trying to make out they're like the bigwigs here. I really don't get it. You just didn't want another, because it's going to cause too much upset where the fans wanted it, and now the FIA have done a U-turn. I would very much like a new Formula One team. Convince me otherwise. I'd love to hear your points. I'll even read it out and do another video if you oppose it, and for good reasons why. Comment below, let us know. That's pretty much my rant over, because let's be fair, it was a kind of like a rant. I want that Andretti Global. Come on, Andretti. Make it a Formula One. Like and subscribe if you can. If you made it to the end, you're amazing. Apologies about the rambly. We will speak to you soon. Thank you.